So I am right now in the process of rebuilding my large orchestral template, and I finally upgraded to Cubase 12. I just never had time to do it in between projects. And I've been exploring the new Midi Remote feature, which is absolutely amazing and definitely a game changer for me. So let's have a look. So the whole idea of Midi Remote is that it's going to replace the generic remote that you need to set up in Studio Setup over here. And instead you can go on Midi Remote and you can open it in lowered zone, can add any MIDI controller you like. So we're going to use native instruments. I'm going to add my S49. I think it's called Control S49 or something like that. And then you need to choose the port. I'm going to use the S49 Mark II port 1, both for input and output. And then you can create it and you're done. You're into MIDI Remote. There are a couple of things that I really love about MIDI Remote. First of all, how easy and reliable it is. And the second thing is how customizable it is. Let me show you how it works. So here I have MIDI Learn in bypass, so I can activate it. And then I need to touch anything I want to assign to something. So here I have my MIDI keyboard. Let's assign these 8 knobs, but I also want to activate these 2 buttons because I actually love having access to the MIDI click on and off, and also the pre-count I want on and off. So let's assign those 2 features to these 2 buttons. So I'm going to touch all the knobs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then these 2 buttons. So now the thing that I need to change is that those are knobs rather than buttons. Oh, I'm doing it the wrong way. So you can do this, and then these are knobs instead of buttons. And you can even resemble the sort of layout that they are in your control surface. So let's say I want to do something like this. Now let's put the MIDI Learn back in bypass mode, and then let's assign a couple of things, right? So that we can show a practical example. Let's say that I want this knob to control the MIDI click volume. Let's use the click as an example to everything. So I can go to Mapping Assistant. I am right now using this one, so I can touch it and it's going to appear here. And then I can browse functions, and here you have anything in Cubase. So let's search for click. I want to see metronome click level. I think this is it. Double click on it, and now it's done. This is now controlling my metronome click, and let's see if it works. So I have it on, and this is the volume. Amazing, it works. Let's move on. Let's say that we want to assign these 2 buttons to activating the click and to activate the pre-count. So these are these 2 icons over here, which I actually have key bindings for already. So the click is C, on and off, and then I have control click for the pre-count. But let's assign these 2 buttons to it. So I can click this one, and then I can double click on it. And so we want this to say pre-count, can double click on it, and it's done. Then I can click on this one, and I want this to be activate click, I believe it's called. Activate metronome click. There you go. So now they should be both be working. It works with a double click, I think. So that turns it off and on. Off and on. Okay, so this is weird. We're gonna need to fix this. And the pre-count works with a double click. So there is something in the functioning of this that requires me to double click on it. So I want to probably fix that. And I think that the way that you sort this, and this is something that I found out a bit empirically, I'm not quite sure why, but please comment below if you have an explanation or a better solution for this, is that you need to change the value mod from toggle to jump, and now I think it should work instantly. Let's see. There you go. So this is pretty cool. Now we did an example with the click, but I'm going to assign all these controllers to a bunch of other functions in Cubase that I tend to use a lot during my workflow. Another pretty cool thing that I think is worth mentioning is that if you go on the mapping assistant again, each one of these parameters that we just mapped, you can choose whether they act on a global level, so for any project that you open, or specifically for the project that you have currently open, which is again a sign of how customizable Cubase can be. I really hope you enjoyed this and it was helpful and it will speed up your workflow. If you enjoy this content, one of those is always appreciated, and please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.